And that's the thing, is that if.
The agenda will,
Yeah.
are you ready?
Well, no,
You got enough room? You
yeah,
wanna move
no,
on?
you're good. I'm not taking notes.
No, who's taking notes?
The deputy clerk.
Okay.
Would you like a seat at the table? It would be easier.
Right here.
No, sit up at the table.
Yeah.
Well,
if you have a service.
That's some AI.
I'm just saying, I'm just trying to help you out.
Super peer pressure.
Everybody's gonna look at you until you do, so.
I'm here.
We're trying to make it
Big
easy.
shot training.
Just saying.
Yeah, you go.
Okay,
Yeah, be careful. You might you might,
I have to add L to the agenda under new business. It's hold harmless with St. Lawrence County Highway. I don't think I put that on the agenda and that they come to us, the other day, so. Okay. First order, of business is to approve our minutes of December 2nd and the 18th.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, that's fine.
Go ahead.
I'll go ahead with, you got a correction?
December 2nd looks fine with me, but December the 18th, on page 3, under committee reports. You have me saying that it's the Main Street Task Force. It should be Complete Streets Task Force. That's the only thing. Sorry.
We got it.
So page 3, committee reports, Complete Streets, not Main Street Task Force.
Any other corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Department heads. Let's see who's on first here. Economic development.
Yes, you want me to give me a report or I don't know what to add?
Nothing to add? Any questions?
I have a question. I believe it's the second to last or last paragraph. I see the acronym ESDC. Is that Empire State Development Corporation or is it something else?
Economic Development Steering Committee,
Thanks.
So
It's so that it's,
there's a transpose letter.
Okay, no problem. Now I know.
EBSC, it should be,
ESC. Thank you. Just because I'm new and I don't always get it.
I believe. Not looking.
Any other questions
No,
for Lee?
that's what it is.
correct.
Other than that, looks good to me.
Okay, let's see. Our, dog catcher. Keeps busy. No no report other than what he's written.
The part that says, pound shelter improvements are progressing well.
He's doing that down in his operation.
Okay. I just didn't know what our involvement with that. is.
No, that's his facility.
That's his facility. We just hire him to take care of it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, thanks.
Next, recreation.
Don't really have much to add, apply for the T-Mobile Hometown Grant Program for Buck Street Playground. Here,
When will you hear about that?
it is, I don't remember. I think it's February, no, March. It's a quarterly grant, so if we don't get it this time, we can apply again, so that's kind of nice. Stewart's Holiday Match Grant deadline's coming up, so I'll be submitting that to get more funding for our summer drop-in program that we started last year. Everybody read about our old Olympia ice resurfacer going to St. Lawrence, so it's great, that's why we save it. It almost went to Messina today, so
Woohoo!
luckily I got it figured
It'll
out.
take 3 days to drive it there.
No, they're gonna do it.
I know.
I told him just call Marty and he'll come.
Oh my God, that would be great.
But no, that's why we saved it, because
Yeah.
if you don't have one, you're closed and,
Nobody can leave that.
yeah, so it's.
I'm glad you're the one that people are calling.
It's
It's a
kind of,
beautiful thing.
it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything's good. Ice is ice. It's cold, keeps the electric bill down, so. Happy to
Good.
answer any questions.
Anything for Megan? Okay, treasurer's report. Okay, anything for?
Wait, what'd you say?
Sorry, I have nothing to add.
Thank you.
Alright.
She'll get over that.
So, yeah, I was gonna say that'll pass.
There are a lot of interesting things going on with water billing and so forth, so we're making progress with all that.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Megan? We have a lot of Megans, right?
Yeah. Meg, yeah? No questions, but just to say that, I appreciate, I mean, this is sort of generally to all the department heads who I know are working on the asset inventory and for you for coordinating that effort. So pretty important for our long-term planning that we get that done. So appreciation to everyone, because I know that's
Less
can
than-
be,
less than
can be,
fun.
yeah, it's probably not the, you know,
Highlight of
most
your
fun
day.
task on y'all's list.
Okay, clerk. Sally.
I do have a couple things. One thing I did want to point out to the board, it's in my report, but you know, back in January of 24, we started sending out water and sewer letters saying, if you people don't contact us for new meters, we're gonna start charging you $50 surcharge for a quarter. We've sent out several letters, we've tried to contact people by phone. We still have, I think, what do you think, about 500?
Yeah.
Still left, so our question is, do you want us to start
Charging.
charging the $50?
We've discussed this in the office, and that's why it's risen to this level. I think after 3 calls and 3 attempts
Yeah.
that, we ought to add it on, that'll.
It will probably get a lot more people's attention.
Is that a?
It's a, if they respond, we, you know, we'll waive it. It's just that, you know, people aren't taking us seriously, and it makes a huge difference in productivity and, accuracy.
It's basically non-compliance for not getting back in touch with us, so we can go replace the meter.
Yeah, how many times would we charge them?
We haven't charged anybody yet.
Oh, I know, I understand.
We've threatened, and now it's.
Oh, how many times would the fee be assessed, is what you're asking?
Every billing period.
Yeah, it says you will,
This would be
yeah,
great.
every
Yeah.
quarter you will be charged a $50 fee, so they all have this.
And as Mike said, we could waive it.
Yeah.
I'm not really,
Right.
I just want to know if it was quarterly or not.
Yeah.
I'm in support of if people, 500 seems like a lot to me.
We're only sending them out to the people that we have. We have enough meters to do, you know, a certain number. And, you know, they're picking a certain billing book and going for that first. So, you know, not the whole, you know, community is getting that letter. And we're expecting 500 calls at the same time. We're targeting
Sure.
neighborhood.
So we're strategic. That's good. 500 still seems like a lot.
I'm
It seems
surprised
like a
by
lot.
that.
Like any at St. Lawrence, yeah,
Right.
and that's a lot.
That's
So we're
Okay.
Working with
Yeah.
St. Lawrence.
Okay, that makes.
That's a whole nother,
Way
Yeah.
more sense.
that's a whole nother.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's okay, but
Yeah.
if that's a 200.
Yeah, right. yeah.
Right, that makes a whole lot more sense to me.
But
Okay,
there's 1,600.
okay, sure, but that's.
So they've gotten quite a few done.
Okay, awesome.
But, you know, we've made the threat after a certain number of attempts. I think we're gonna start.
Don't threat if you don't mean it.
Right.
Well,
That's
absolutely.
where I'm at.
Sally.
The other thing I want to mention is, last year in May, the board passed a resolution regarding, budget policy. And that we're gonna stick to that budget policy. And we are distributing tomorrow, because we're preparing our memo to department heads, a copy of this budget memo and policy. And, so they have until February 28th, because March 1st is Saturday. So, that's when we're gonna be expecting department head information.
Okay.
So we will share this resolution again, so everybody has a copy of the policy.
And then we
We're
will,
gonna stick to it. Then we'll,
Well, Yeah.
The
otherwise-
schedule for budget stuff
Yes.
Mhm.
will come.
Yep, it's all outlined in the policy.
Yep.
That's pretty much all.
Any other
Yes, but the
questions
schedule
for
our
Sally?
meetings is not
That's
set
what I'm,
yet.
yes.
What's the matter?
I feel like I'm not being like, down.
She was
Our
asking
schedule
For
for
our
us,
meetings
to me,
has not been set.
has not been
Right.
set. Yeah,
Right.
correct. Okay.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay.
But it'll
Thanks
fit,
for the translation.
it'll
Anna.
fit within the parameters of what.
Of
you
the
know,
policy.
Of the
Right.
policy,
Right.
so.
Right.
Yeah,
I just want to
Good
make
call.
sure that I get all, yep, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, up next is code.
Well, I have nothing to add. Anybody have any questions on my report?
No? Anybody have questions? Okay. Well, thank you.
Right.
Oops. Steve.
The police committee is currently conducting interviews to fill the vacancy that's gonna be left by Chief Sandoval on his retirement. With that note, I'd like to publicly thank Chief Sandoval for his many years of dedicated service to his community and the department. He's had a significant impact on both. I just wish him the best and happy retirement to him. So thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
And that's all I have.
Anything for, Ryan? Oh,
That's your last meeting.
But it's not his last day.
No.
yeah.
hold him back. Okay, Cindy, I think she's online for the assessor.
Yeah. Hi, good evening. I'm just going to start off with the exemptions. Yeah, people have been mailing them back really fast. I've been getting them pretty quickly, especially the age exemptions. And I think maybe that's because I put a stamped self-addressed envelope in the exemption envelope, and they get it back to me pretty quickly. There was no assessor meeting this month. It was postponed. So I don't have anything to add on that end. I started working on valuing the permits, and I've been holding them because usually wait towards the end, towards this time of year to start valuing them. And since I was out there data collecting this past summer, mostly in this past year, I was able to value them from my desk. So, but there are some that I still need to go out in the field and review. And thanks to Tim, he's been very helpful on working with me to get that done. And we'll get there. It's getting that crunch time with time of year. The sales still coming in until the 1st of March. And once that's done, they could start closing up the roll. So there's been a lot of sales. I can't give you a number offhand, but there's been a lot of sales. Anyway, I guess that's about it for my report. Does anybody have any questions?
Not, well, I guess it will end in a question. I wanted to say you put the information in here about, defining a reassessment and why this is needed. I found that very clear and useful. And I know you have a lot of information on your page already. But I'm wondering if I'm just thinking as this process goes on, that we might want to highlight this information and really try to draw people's attention to it in order to answer, people's questions and address some of the misconceptions.
Okay, now this handout, this information I'm giving you, the handouts that they advertise on the state website, and I could print up a bunch of them and have them available, outside my office. I could do something, or down at the clerk's office. And I know the most important thing with this reval is to get the information out to the public and to tell them what's going on and why it's going on. And so they're not afraid of it, so we wanted them to know, like I said, why and what we're doing. So, yeah, it's a good suggestion. I don't know how many people are going out on my web page and saying, okay, here's here's the information about a reval. I'm putting it in my report, but like I said, I could print them up. What do you think of, that idea? Or
I think. definitely
I
print
think
them off.
it's gonna be a public meeting, so we're gonna get that information out to the public when we do. And I'm hoping for a big turnout. I don't wanna see, 5 or 6 people there. I would hope for a big turnout, and if there's any other suggestions anybody has there of how we can do that, just let me know. I mean, when you go into the real property office, there's a wall of all the handouts and everything. I mean, we could build something like that, So, just let me know. And like I said, I'm gonna put it in my report every month of something, about it and to educate the public. So, what do you think?
Cindy, Barb has a comment.
Okay,
I would just say that, I print some up in every meeting, even at our meeting, hand them out to people. I think even if it's not specifically a meeting about reassessment, have the information, give it, push it on people. I mean, if
okay,
10% of them look at it, there's just that many more people who are informed. And
Right.
have some of the folks, I mean, you cannot have too many of these, I would say.
Well, and another thought too, the Communications and Technology Committee is gonna meet next week. And we could talk about ways to sort of consistently over the next few months, like highlight that
On the
stuff
website.
on the website as well.
okay.
So we'll talk
Okay,
about
I know
that.
the towns that have done it, they put it right there on the website, reval, and we can make a separate web page for that. That would be a good idea. I could do that and put them into the links of, all that and stuff. Just always the old school of they don't have the technology, they have the computers and they don't know, and that's what I'm here for too. So I guess that's the question, if they don't have a computer, if they, don't have the technology, that,
Right.
how do we get across to them?
I think we have it right in the clerk's office too, and there's still that table out in the hall.
Yep.
Okay,
So,
Okay.
thanks.
okay,
Maybe
It's
this will
all
be
time for
taken,
those to go.
right?
okay.
Yeah.
Well, the tax bills are almost done for the town. That we could line something up for when the village tax bills are due.
Yeah, perfect.
At least, to start that, and then when the school tax bills, could go through.
That
And
makes
that.
sense.
Okay.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anything else for Cindy?
Thanks, Cindy.
thank you.
Thanks, Cindy.
Okay, you're welcome.
Tim.
Yeah,
Perfect.
just public announcement, the guys are gonna be cleaning the streets tomorrow night, overnight. I mean, really shouldn't affect anybody, but just to let you know, we don't have a ton of snow, but enough that they want to get after it, so we'll be doing that all night tomorrow night. And so we'll be short staffed Friday. Probably stormwater stuff will probably, Anna's probably gonna bring up, so I'll kind of fill in with her on that, I'm assuming, so,
On our committee report.
yeah.
The other thing that Tim informed me of was, New York State DOT is working on a project on 310. It's gonna create, trouble for us, I think, on Riverside Drive and County Route 27 going north. There's gonna be a detour
Where on three?
next year or the year after.
Oh.
We're not sure. We're not sure, if it's gonna be 26.
Yeah,
Or 25.
it might be awarded this year, but the contractor, if they can't get the precast culvert in time,
Right.
it'll be 26, they said.
Okay.
Look, I think they said after Morley Potsdam Road and is it Alverson Road on the right, maybe? It's that road that kind of winds off, there's a culvert there.
Yeah,
Before Greenwoods.
bless you.
Yeah,
The
Okay.
detour will go out Riverside Drive, 3020 County Route 27, out through Morley,
Morley, yeah.
County Route 14, down to Bucks Bridge and then out.
Back on it.
Ought to be
Yeah,
very
That's not a good
interesting.
idea.
We've done that before.
But we just found out about it. So
Oh my God.
Well,
we just don't know the
Bad
date.
intersection.
Wasn't that long ago.
I
that we
mean,
had
it
to
was
do that.
very recently that.
It was Brianna's senior year, so she's 5 years out, 6 years out.
Tim, anything else you,
No,
any questions for Tim? Okay, I need a motion to approve, department head reports.
So moved.
Second.
In favor?
I,
Anyone opposed? Committee reports. Who would like to go first?
I can start.
You always start.
I always start. Communications and technology, as I said, is meeting next week, so, please, any sorts of, agenda items, send them our way. Economic development met, to plan for our EDSC meeting and talk about grants. But there's nothing really, not anything new to, I think, to report from there.
They're refocusing.
Yes, right, it's, new grant cycle, new, in a new calendar year, so new planning. Finance committee met. I think good progress is being made on some of the work that's being done, so that's really great. And then yes, infrastructure. I was like, am I missing something? Because infrastructure is the one. So for infrastructure, a couple of things, there's been sort of a flurry of meetings. So, Tim and I met with, Barton and LaJudas to talk about a stormwater management plan and other, stormwater related grant funding opportunities. For me, it was a really encouraging meeting, in the sense that, they're gonna come to us with a proposal for a village-wide or most of the village, stormwater, management plan. So that we can sort of get a bird's eye grasp on the whole situation and not just the problem spots that we know exist. That is, I think, important because some of the grant funding that we have been looking at will no doubt require these kinds of planning documents. So sort of parallel efforts to address implementation of some of the work that we would like to get done as soon as possible, that we have, pre-engineering for the Judson court, et cetera, that area, but also, thinking wider and, sort of lining up what might be possible. What else should we say about stormwater?
I think that's kind of